Hello everyone and welcome to my video guide for a Magicka Sorcerer DPS build for PVE for the one Tamriel update. Was working in Dark Brotherhood, but now with the new sets it's working even better. So this build is for trial and dungeons only. Do not try this in PvP or you will get wrecked. So let's get started. Let's talk about gear. So as far as gear goes, let's talk about the body pieces first. So we're going to be running 5 pieces of Twice 1 star with the Thief and the Shadow Mundo Stone. We're going to be running 2 pieces of the new set called Alambris. So Alambris gives you maximum magicka, and when you deal flame or shock damage you have a 10% chance to summon a meteor shower of that damage type that deals 1765 damage to all enemies every 1 second for 5 seconds, cooldown of 8 seconds. So what's nice about Magicka Sorcerer is that you're going to be using Force Pulse as your damage dealer that deals flame and shock damage. You're going to be using Liquid Lightning, and you're going to be using the Fire Elemental Blockade. So you're going to be proccing this set non-stop during the first 80% of the fight and even during the 20% of execute. So this set is a must-have. It has been a big DPS increase just wearing that set. So for the body, 5 pieces Twice Born and 2 pieces Alambris. You're gonna want 5-1-1. So as you can see, I have 1 piece of heavy and 1 piece of medium. The rest is 5 light because you want those passives and you want the undaunted passives as well. For the jewelry, you're going to be running 3 pieces of Infallible Ether, all with spell damage enchants to get that Minor Slayer. So Minor Slayer increasing your damage done in dungeon and trials by 5%. This is amazing. For the front bar staff, you're going to be running a sharpened Ether Lightning Staff with a weapon damage enchant, just so that when you're on the front bar you're gonna have that spell damage buff, the 4-piece buff. And for the back bar you're gonna be running a Maelstrom Inferno Staff to buff your Elemental Blockade. As you can see, I do not have Sharpened, but Sharpened is best in slot. I have Precise, so that's what I use for now. So what does my character sheet look like? I might want to take food real quick. So this is what it looks like. So 2500 spell damage without the proc, almost 44k magicka, 18.5k health, 1k recovery, and 62% crit. With the Thief, the Shadow, and Minor Slayer up. So on both bars you're going to be running Bound Aegis to give you Minor Resolve, Minor Word, and max magicka by 8%. So that's awesome on both bars. Your damage field is going to be Force Pulse, so it deals the, all elemental damage, so flame, cold, and shock damage, and it deals some kind of AoE if there's multiple targets, so up to 2 enemies are going to get hit by 3354 magic damage. You're gonna be running also Crystal Frag. You're not gonna be spamming this skill, you're gonna be only using it when it procs. That's self-explanatory because casting another magicka ability has a 35% chance to cause your next Crystal Frag to be instant, deal 20% more damage, and cost 50% less magicka. Inner Light from the Mage's Guild for that Major Prophecy and 7% max magicka. It says 5, but the passive in Mage's Guild also give you 2 per Mage's Guild ability slotted, so in the end it ends up being 7%. And Velocious Curse. So Velocious Curse is one of the must-have in this build. You're going to be using that skill every 4 skills. I'll explain that when I show you my DPS parse. So you curse an enemy and 3.5 seconds later it's gonna explode for almost 12k magic damage. That's unbuffed, of course. You can only have 1 curse at a time, meaning if you proc the curse too early, well, you're gonna have wasted a cast of a curse. So you really need to wait for the curse to explode before casting another one. On the front bar we have Shooting Star, deals a shit ton of damage, guarantees you ultimate back when you hit enemies, so, and gives you 2% max Magicka as well, must have. On the back bar, Bound Aegis, Mage's Wrath, your execute that you start casting at 20% or lower. Blockade of Fire, must have, so it's an 8-second dot. Liquid Lightning, must have, 10-second dot. And Harness Magicka. Alright, so why am I not using Inner Light on the back bar? Simple, because every trial in this game now hits very hard. You need to have a shield. If you don't have a shield, you're gonna get wrecked at some point. So yes, I could push my DPS higher by running Inner Light on the back bar, but I will not, because I don't want to get wrecked. I want to survive, because when you're dead, you're dealing 0 DPS. That's no good. And the person rezzing you is also not dealing any DPS, so you're costing the group a lot of damage when you die. So do not die, use Harness. On the back bar, you're going to be using Firestorm. It's not morphed yet, it will be in a couple hours. It's stronger than Meteor Shooting Star in AoE situations where you have like a shit ton of ads and you want the ads to die quick. So it's more of a AoE ulti, while Shooting Star is more of a single target ulti. So use your judgment and use Shooting Star if you want single target DPS. Use Firestorm if you want AoE DPS. So that's all about skills. Let's talk about champion points now. These are the most important ones. This is what I run. Might not be optimal. It uses the jump points, but it might not be the optimal one. That's just what I use because that's what I like. So I run 98 in Elemental Expert, 51 in Elfborn, 9 in Spell Erosion. You don't really need Spell Erosion because you're going to be hitting pretty much like 17k spell penetration. So if you want to drop those, you can. Just put 1 point if you want. And 29 in Thaumaturge. Why that much? Because Elambris is a huge part of your damage, so is Elemental Blockade, and so is Liquid Lightning. And those are dots. So I'm trying to buff those as much as possible. As far as the red tree goes, you could put like half and half in a RD and Elemental Defender. What I found useful is 71 with 1 in Thick Skin. And I put 42 in Bastion. Because I'm using Harness every like second or third rotation. Every time I see damage incoming, I'm gonna use Harness. And Harness does not take account of those two, so I'd rather buff a bit Bastion. You can drop those and put them in Hardy or Defender if you want. It's up to you. For the green tree, I'm using 95 in Magician, reduce Magicka cost, and 92 in Arcanist, increases Magicka recovery. That's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna show you a DPS Parse on Bloodspawn, so 3.04 million health, and I'm gonna explain it to you how it goes. I'm gonna start in slow motion and then it will be fast paced. Alright, so here's a DPS Parse. I'm gonna slow down for you guys just at the beginning so you can see what's going on. So I'm gonna start with a potion and Inner Light. And then I'm gonna start my rotation, so heavy attack into a Liquid Lightning and a Blockade. I'm gonna drop the Meteor and cancel the animation. And then I start my Curse rotation. Curse rotation is gonna be Curse, then 4 damage fillers. It can be a Crystal Frag or Force Pulse. Then on the second rotation you're gonna go Curse, Swap Bar, Liquid into Blockade, Swap Bar, and only 1 damage filler. So as you can see, I'm gonna do 1 damage filler, apply the curse, send the frag, do 3 more fillers, send that frag, apply my curse, and so on and so forth. It's going to be the same over and over. So I'm going to be putting it in full speed. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.
Feels like it hits weaker. The stop hits weaker.
You ready to time?
131.